Year-old up-and-coming race car driver taking a very unique approach to funding her racing career. Her name is Collete Davis, and she's asking for support to fulfill her dream of becoming the first woman to win the Indy 500. So she's asking her friends to help fund it, and it's called crowdfunding. And here to explain more about Collete Davis and about crowdfunding is Kim McNicholas from Pando Daily. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning,
Good
Marty.
to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Well, basically, crowdfunding is when you're trying to raise small amounts of money to fund a project from a large group of people. You have various sites like Kickstarter.com.
Right.
I'm sure you've heard
Yes.
of Indiegogo, Crowdfunder, CrowdTilt. So there are quite a few of them out there that pretty much show that it's really popular right now.
And what do you think is the secret to a successful crowdfund launch?
Have a lot of friends.
With money.
Right, exactly. And have a really big personality and really be able to sell yourself. What are the selling points that you have that would make someone want to invest in you? And it's not necessarily that they're looking for a return on an investment. What they're looking for is to say, you know what, I helped this person succeed. Whether it's a musician, an athlete, an entertainer, it's a really popular trend right now for people to say, you know what, I don't have the money right now in my pocket to fund my training. I'm told I have potential. Would you mind investing in my future? And crowdfunding is even being used by some students in low-income neighborhoods to say, you know what, I really want to go to college. I want to go to Stanford. I want to go to Harvard. I want a big future. I want a chance. And it pretty much, it doesn't level the playing field completely for everyone, but at least it helps start that process.
You know, one professional athlete who's made the news lately is Vernon Davis with the 49ers, who is doing something very similar.
He is on a site called Fantex, and it is a trading exchange that's being built to allow fans to buy and sell shares of their favorite athletes. And also, Arian Foster, running back for the Houston Texans, is on it too.
Although he's hurt now, so he is. So I don't know about how much he's raising. But explain the thought behind this. How do you invest in a professional athlete?
Well, you can buy shares in an athlete just the same as you can a company. That's really the theory that they're trying to build upon.
Okay.
So let's say you're not just rooting for an interest in a particular company. You're investing. You have an invested interest in a particular athlete.
You know, a lot of people might say, wait a minute, these athletes are making millions already. Why should I
not at that point. I mean,
invest?
At that point for Vernon, and yes, for
Vernon's making good
but
money.
they can make even more money. So let's say they're making this much now. Well, you know, the potential for some of these really big athletes is so much more, whether it's in TV deals or broadcast deals down the road. And so that's what they're hoping for. And that's why it's such a big, risk as well. Like, for example, with Vernon and with Aaron, when they get hurt. They get hurt? Well, that's why Fantex is under scrutiny right now. There's no telling what the future potentially is for a site like that, or for buying and selling shares in an athlete, but it is something to look at. But I would think it's still fun. You have to look at it as being a fun thing that I have an invested interest.
And again, you have to have the money to be willing to put into quote-unquote fun.
Well, you could do it for as little. So, for example, with Collete, she is starting on a crowdfunding site such as Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I don't think she's decided exactly which one she's going to go with. It doesn't launch till Monday, but you can invest for as little as $1.
I see.
You can invest for $10. And what's cool about those crowdfunding sites is that for every single tier of investment, there's some sort of perk potentially. If she does, for example, make her goal in funding the project. For example, with her, she has one-on-one coaching with her, or hot passes to IndyCar races, and those are hard to come by the way. Also, racing a Lamborghini or Ferrari against her, maybe in this spring when there's a series that comes to town that allows certain people to do that.
So there is some motivation monetarily, but besides being altruistic for somebody who wants to invest.
Exactly.
I don't know if you remember this, but many years ago, David Bowie did that, right? Do you know how that worked out?
I wasn't sure how it worked out. I was just being told Bill Ty, who is an investor in Silicon Valley, was telling me about that yesterday, and I wasn't sure exactly, but I know that there were people that could invest in his future.
You could buy shares of David Bowie, so to speak. So do you know how Colette's doing so far?
She has to raise $750,000 to fund her training.
Okay.
She did get accepted into the development program for a major name, major team. Can't announce exactly what team that is right now, but very, very hard to come by. She is the only woman in the world right now that's in development for the IndyCar series.
Wow.
And if you remember Danica Patrick, she has since moved on to NASCAR.
Right.
And GoDaddy, she's the big name for GoDaddy. Well, you know, Colette's hoping to go above and beyond that by taking this route versus just going with one sponsor and building her brand now at the beginning of her career. And starting in Silicon Valley, just yesterday, she was out with investors and entrepreneurs from Silicon Valley over a go-kart racer in Burlingame, racing against them, getting them really, really excited about her and the potential for her future.
What a great idea. So if people are interested in investing, let's say in Collete, in her future, where can they go?
Well, with Collete, when she launches her campaign on Monday, you can go to ColetteDavisRacing.com and she'll have a link up there.
I see.
But you can go onto sites like Kickstarter.com, Indiegogo.com, Crowdtilt.com, Crowdfunder.com, any one of the above, and even you can even check into Fantex as well. But you can go on there and you can do searches for athletes, for filmmakers, for musicians, for different startup projects to invest in.
What a great feeling it must be at the end of the day to be able to invest it in somebody's future and say, yeah, I had a small part to play in that.
And you know what was really great is I invested in, you can even invest, it makes for really amazing Christmas gifts. And there's a company called Soma, I think I mentioned it last year around Christmas time, a company called Soma that is making the competitor to the Brita water filter. And it was amazing. I invested maybe $30 or $40 and I just got the product in the mail just the other day. And I just heard that it's on the First Lady's wish list 1 year later.
There you go. All right. Well, that's fantastic. I can imagine a lot of Niner fans are thinking, well, you know what? I might invest in Vernon tomorrow. A big game against the Seahawks. We'll see how he does.
Keep your fingers crossed he doesn't get injured.
Exactly. Kim McNicholas from Pando Daily. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll be right back.